November 13th, 2023. I am at Joel Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds here on Fightful Overbooked. As always, my co-host is here, my co-pilot, my co-banterer, my dude, my dog, as I've said before. Jeremy Lambert's with me. How you doing, Jeremy?
Well, it's Monday, allegedly, and we're on this channel. Everybody at 3 p.m. Eastern on this same channel, watch Tag Talk. Tell Haley she is not allowed to quit. She has been fired.
I feel like we need to let her quit because if we fire her, we need to offer a severance.
Yeah.
Can we get to the point where she says I quit and then we say, okay, but you're fired, and then we don't have to give her the severance?
Yeah, that's basically how that played out anyway.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's how it played out behind the scenes. She said she had to leave, and I said, you can't leave. You're fired.
We send our appreciation, we send our love to Haley. We're excited for her next steps. I said it on the internet earlier today. They both Kylie and Haley, or Haley or Kylie and what do I say? Hailey and Kaylee. I can't even say it right anymore now that Haley's leaving.
Why are you so bad at this, Joel?
It's Monday. They've both been great creators in this space, and yeah, we know that Kylie's hopefully still going to be doing stuff with us, but with Haley, she's moving on. And go watch Tag Talk today, this afternoon, because it's going to be a good show, as it always is. But now we're going to add a little extra tissues because y'all are going to be crying, okay? And if you're not crying, then you're just crying money and sending it to them in super chat form, okay? That's how.
Yeah, give it. Maybe if we can raise enough money for her, she'll stay.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Don't even ask her what her salary is. Just donate all your money.
Just give all your money so we can continue to do this show.
Just this one, not Tag Talk.
Yeah. Not Tag Talk.
Oh my goodness. By the way, speaking of news from the weekend, Vinny Pacifico, our pal, got married. Congratulations to him and his lovely wife. I know he was very excited for the day. He's been posting photos, videos, everything from that wedding, and it looked beautiful. Just want to send a congratulations out to Vinny and to his wife. That's some fun news for the morning.
Should I just message Vinny, be like, hey, come on and talk about married life, nothing else, just what married life's been for 2 days now?
Let's get wedding scoops from Vinny Pacifico. I want to know about the cake. They got the sparklers shooting up, like the Ring of Honor sparklers, that they used to set up like every like mid-level indie gets these things, the sparkler boxes at the entryway. He got those. Did he get a title belt? Did he get a wedding title belt? Is that what his wedding band is? It's a title belt.
Clap the cheeks with the title belt on.
Was there G Fuel everywhere? Was the wedding partly sponsored by G Fuel? Vinny, the wedding scoops. That's what we need.
All right. I'll message him second half of this show. We got apparently a lot to talk about. I don't know, but
no, we don't.
Second half of this show, I'll shoot him a message and see if he can give us some wedding scoops.
Sounds good. Shoot us your thumbs up, by the way, on this video, and of course, you can subscribe to us here at Fightful Overbooked. Kate and I went live last night. We talked about plenty of things. We got into an argument 5 minutes before the end of the show, so clearly, the show's going well. And you can also catch all the content that we drop here by subscribing to the channel. There are the fireworks. That's what we needed. And you can send us your super chats. Any amount, get your question statement read on the air. And it supports us here on Fightful Overbooked, because that's what you want, right? You got to support us and love us and do all the things. Wildest wrestling weddings. That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about that.
I mean, they've probably all been on screen, right?
Except for this one.
Now, I mean, I don't think you're going to get anything wilder than like what we've actually seen, like an on-screen wedding. Now, after the wedding, then there might have been some wild times at wrestling weddings. But, Cody tried to throw a barbecue for Matt Cardona for his wedding to Chelsea Green.
Which is smart, by the way. I would have done that. I would have accepted and done that for my wedding.
Yeah. So now the Trish or the Lita and Kane, that was a wild wedding.
That was wild. Yeah.
All I remember was Trish from that one.
Of course, she was. Anyway, they made a lot of people feel a certain way. When I think about underrated wrestling weddings, first one that comes to mind, TNA, ODB, Eric Young in the cage. stripping down to the skivvies and saying "I do." That's
That
the
was a
one.
good. Yeah, that was good. What about Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan?
They promoted the hell out of that on the show. It was I'll never forget that one. That's not underrated. That's just present. It happened.
Oh, Soulable says, I was a kid at the Raw show for the Tess Stephanie wedding, got a beer thrown on me when Triple H played his video. You got to go back in time and fight that person who threw a beer on you.
Yeah, you got to punch him in the back of the head.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Oh my god, that's wild. I've never actually heard a story of someone having actually been in the building when that segment dropped, because that was a moment.
I mean, that was, talk about wild wrestling weddings. I don't know if anything really tops that.
Mae
That
Young
one
is the reason it happened that way. Mae Young was the one who gave Stephanie the drink. Mae Young she's the problem. It's her.
I don't remember this lore of Mae Young.
If
That's right. Yeah. Now I do. Yeah.
They were doing the bachelorette party backstage, and Mae Young was like, "No, we're gonna drink," and she brought the drinks in. Mae Young she's the reason why. That woman was the devil. Wait a minute, I
Gave
just
birth to a hand. She had to be like some type of extra Morpheus figure.
I just thought about this right as you said it.
I don't know.
What if the hand is the devil in AEW?
They did that bit with the hand coming back with Mark Henry years ago on WWE TV. And then the hand, I don't remember if Mark Henry took a photo. He would have been AEW at the time, so he couldn't have taken the photo with the giant slap hand in the greatest match of all time, Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Mark Henry should have taken a photo with that hand. I do think he commented on it, because I feel like I wrote an article about like Mark Henry comments on his son slapping Sami Zayn. I don't think a hand can be the devil, but
why not?
You never know. Crazier things have happened in wrestling.
It's 2023. The hand can be whatever he wants.
No, that wouldn't go over well with people, Joel Pearl.
Nothing goes over well with people anymore. The internet has ruined us.
I feel like things went over well pretty well this weekend with the wrestling. People were very excited about the Continental Classic and more Bryan Danielson. Feels like that went over really well.
Yeah, I feel like that was something you would have really enjoyed watching on Collision. I obviously you watch Collision, obviously you know what happened. Tournament gets announced, the Continental Classic, and let's just dive right in. Should this have been one of those Tony announcements? This one would have been totally fine. I think people would have been like, "Oh yeah, I could get behind this." Doesn't have to be huge, major, but like Tony Khan has an announcement, and this would have been okay in my opinion.
It was not a taped show as well, like, so they needed to pop a rating for the taped show. Yeah, honestly, I'm a little surprised they didn't just do that. Like, Tony Khan has a big announcement. This felt like it was big, right? Like, what category would you put this in hindsight, Joel? Was it big, huge, important, very important?
This is what the level 2 should have been for the all-in that ended up being the all-in tickets. This could have been it. I don't, because again, I think, people like myself were waiting for the tournament, for the Full Gear tournament. And when it didn't get announced, I still held out. I was like, he still does a winter style tournament. So when is it happening? So I probably would have just said, make it a level 2. I think that's just good enough. Doesn't have to be Tony Khan has something to say. If it had just been Bryan Danielson is going to be at All In and wrestling it All In, that's I have something to say. You bumped it up a notch when you announced the Continental Classic, because all he did was announce that it's happening and gave us the dates. He didn't announce any stakes. We don't know if it's for a world title shot. We just know that it ends on the 27th of December, and then we don't know what bearing it has on World's End. Even though the color schemes are similar, you have to assume that there's some sort of stakes that tie into the event that happens 2 days later, 3 days later.
It's gotta be. What do you mean? It ends at World's End, doesn't it? The finals is at World's End.
The block finals. Oh, the block finals are on the 27th at.
Yeah, the finals are at World's End.
The finals are World's End, but the block finals are the Dynamite before that.
Okay, but still the finals are at World's End. So I feel like the winner gets a title shot. It's got to be. Like, you're not doing this whole tournament and not having the winner of it get a title shot. Just like, you've won this tournament. Congratulations, Buckaroo. No, it's got to be. It's got to be the winner gets a title shot. Otherwise, I'd be a little angry. Honestly, they just did this tournament and the stakes were nothing. You're just the champion. Like, cool. You got to give it the G1. You know, you get the title shot at Wrestle Kingdom. Like, still, which is months away once the G1 concludes, because then you defend the briefcase twice and whatever, and that's it. But like, yeah, you got to get a title shot for winning this tournament.
Yeah, I can see that. I would call this the E1. I don't want to call it the because the A1 is already Ethan Page's promotion here outside of Toronto and Hamilton, which is the worst place in the world. Why are you running a show in February in Hamilton, Ethan Page? What's wrong with you? I love Alpha 1 though. And then you've got the W1 is like it's a form that you fill out for your work visa situation. So can't call it the W1. The E1 though, the Elite One.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the E1. That's what I'm calling it. And it's also close enough to the G1 that it's the E1, and it makes sense. 12 people are going to be part of this thing. Everyone's throwing out their names. Everyone's throwing out their ideas. Do you have anyone on there? I know your number one's already in there, so you're good to go. But is there anyone else that you immediately said, oh, they've got to be in this thing?
Chris Jericho.
I want you to elaborate, please.
Just tapped out Takeshita. That's a pretty big victory. Jericho's got to fill like a Tanahashi role. I don't think Jericho's ever done G1. So I feel like Jericho wants to try to do something like this as well. So I think Jericho is going to be in it. You got 12 names. You got to have the people. Here's what people might get mad at this, but like, you got to have at least like one or two names that are just there to take some L's, right? Like, you can't have all your favorites there because people got to take some L's so people can get, not everybody can be equal. It can't be 50-50 booking the whole time. You know, like Yano is in the G1 every year to do like comedy matches and take some L's. The best example is Bad Luck Fale. He's there to take L's, maybe like beat Okada, and then otherwise just lose everything else. Like, that's what he's there for. So you got to have the people that are in it to just take some losses. So you might see someone like John Silver in it. Good wrestler, can have some like fun matches with a variety of people, but he's just there to lose. He's there to lose all these matches. Like, that's what he's going to be there for. So I think you'll see a name like that. John Silver's actually not, now that I just throw that name out there, that's not a bad example of him just being there to take some losses.
So I'll disagree about John Silver only because it feels like they're trying to repackage Dark Order.
How many times have they tried to repackage Dark Order?
I get it. I know. But also, winter is coming. The week before winter is coming, they're going to be in Montreal. And what happens when AEW comes to Canada? Stu Grayson appears again. So I assume Stu will have some sort of presence in Montreal with Dark Order. We'll see. I don't know.
Why? He's not in Dark Order. He's in.
No, he joined the Righteous, and then he maybe left the Righteous. But it's been long enough that everyone's forgotten, since it was the summertime that he was there, and it was a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, that it's like he could just show up and rejoin Dark Order after a segment about penises or something.
No, because now, I mean, Dark Order's like heels last I checked, right?
They think I don't know, they're tweeners. They're weird, Dark Order. They're listless, unfortunately.
Just put Stu, or not Stu. I mean, Stu's fine. Just put John Silver in the E1. I don't mind the E1. I've been calling it the C2 because Continental Classic C2, you know, like, it doesn't have to be a 1. Why are we trying to go full G1 here? Let's make it similar to that. C2 is literally right in front of you. It's literally in the name, C2. Okay. There's my rant on that. So
he then accepts that it could be the E1.
I mean, I accept it, but I still think C2 is just there. I think it's right in front of you. All right. John Silver is just a name of a guy who's just going to be in a block to take some L's type of thing. I don't know if they want Brian Cage taking like a bunch of losses and stuff. They seem to like Brian Cage. He's in the, what happened with this street fight? Could Ospreay not come over, and could Sammy not get cleared?
So Sammy not getting cleared is most likely, yeah. Ospreay, I think, was just like, why? what was the risk reward for having Osprey in this case? I think he would have liked to do it, but I think maybe someone stepped in. The famous "why isn't there a why" person? Maybe somebody stepped in and was just like, "Why Osprey? Is this important enough on a Dynamite to bring in Osprey?" So for me, it's
I think
like,
it is. It's a Sega crossover, Joel. Sega. It's
hey,
a
listen, I love
crossover.
Sega. I do, but actually, I'm more of a Nintendo guy. But the point is, I would have liked to seen Osprey, but I kind of understood why they didn't do Osprey. Why Solobo's mentioning that Tay is due, I think in December, she said. But also, if you saw a recent photo of her, she is very pregnant. So again, if it's that's another thing that maybe they just want to be there for the home stretch and hope that everything is smooth going to delivery day. So that could be it with Sammy as well. But as far as we know, Sammy's still not cleared after suffering a concussion a few months ago. Well, last month.
Yeah, it was at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, Wrestle Dream.
Wrestle Dream, whatever the last pay-per-view was. I can't keep them straight anymore. They have too many.
Wait a minute.
Tim brings up the same point if you want to.
Yeah, Tim Wininger, thank you. I hope I got that right. Says maybe with Tamello do soon. Sammy's taking time. And again, it could be, honestly, it could just be a happy accident in this case in terms of timing that Sammy's is not cleared. It could be the concussion. You don't know how long it takes to bounce back from that. Some people will do it faster than others, and it comes down to how many you've had, how your brain is. It's a whole long road dealing with concussion issues. But also, like I said, and like Tim said, and others have said, Tay is presumably due anytime soon. So could just be both at the same time.
All right. So sorry, got off there with the Brian Cage just being part of this street fight and wondering why. I mean, I get why, but they had other options and trying to figure out why that didn't. Kyle Fletcher in the Classic would be good.
Kate and I did this last night. Can I give you my names real quick?
Yeah.
Lance Archer, because they have been.
No, he's out. He's part of World Tag League.
Oh, that's with who?
He's tagging with Alex Zane.
That's a hilarious tag team. I saw that Gates of Agony. I saw that they're part of
Gates of Agony's in World Tag League too.
That's what I saw. I didn't notice it. Archer, I would have put Archer in there. It would have made sense. They keep bringing him back to TV. It would have been like we're building him for an E1 run. Okay. Danielson obviously
already blown up your blocks here, Joel. Sorry.
Not really. Yuta, Daniel Garcia. Obviously, Brian's already there. Andrade, Miro, AR Fox, going back to the people who can take losses but have great matches. Juice Robinson is also in that great matches and could take a loss, win a couple. Mox, Claudio, or Orange Cassidy. One of those three or two of those three will probably take part just for the sake of doing a bigger match. Keith Lee, Kyle Fletcher, and then I had written the problem is we don't know what champions are involved, if any. And again, that goes back to what are the stakes? Do we know it's a title shot? Do we know we don't know what it comes with if you win. So and then others have mentioned Swerve and Hangman. It feels like if you do that, then the blow off from the Texas Death Match ends up meaning a little less, because it feels like those two will end up meeting either in block matches or as a block A, block B, and it becomes a final, and it feels weird just to progress the story for the sake of doing a tournament. Ironically,
I don't
about that as being the
it wouldn't be part of the tournament is the thing, and that's why. But the tournament starts after Full Gear, so they could be in separate blocks. It's not like they got to be in other blocks to meet.
Yes, but then it just the expectation, or at least the prevailing theory, if they're on separate blocks, is that they're each going to win their block and then face each other again, because we go round in circles. It doesn't mean it has to be that way. It doesn't, it's just one of the things that will come up is, it's got to be these two because they're currently embroiled in a feud, and the world title should eventually become a part of it.
They're having matches. They're doing matches on Collision, right? They have to.
As far as I understand, yeah.
Okay. So then you got to have Collision people in there. Because there's definitely Collision-centric people here. So somebody like Starks, I know he's one half of the tag champions right now. I think Dax is probably pushing to put himself in this tournament or in this little round robin gimmick here. So I think you'll see singles Dax possibly showing there's a guy that could take losses in singles matches. That's all he does is lose singles matches. So I can throw him in there.
Okada, bring in Kazuchika Okada to take.
Here's the thing.
One.
Here's the thing. I do think you maybe get somebody from New Japan. I don't know who, because they're running World Tag League, and I just mentioned Archer is in World Tag League. They also got Wrestle Kingdom coming up, but it's before that'll finish before the tournament will finish before Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know who, and if you do have somebody, they're probably taking losses. Let me look at the World Tag League list again. It seems like the most of the people you probably want to be in there who can like take some L's are already in World Tag League. Like Yano's in Tag League, Shota. And there's not a whole lot of people who could be in, like Gabe Kidd. Yeah, most of these people are already tied up in Tag League stuff, so they're probably not coming over. I'm sure there's like some name that I'm just like completely overlooking, like Yujiro or something. I don't think you
don't think so.
Take a spot and just put Yujiro in there. Sorry, Yujiro Takahashi.
Who is there? Anyone from Ring of Honor? I don't want necessarily New Japan guys there, because I want this to be more of an AEW centric event. This should be the idea behind this tournament should be that the people involved are directly contracted to the company and will be affected by this tournament positively. That's why someone like Kyle Fletcher makes sense, because he doesn't have a tag partner to work with right now, but he has standout matches. AR Fox, again, same conversation. Juice this should be a reward for him for a lot of what he's done for the last month. Andrade, Miro, people that we've been waiting to see more out of. We're seeing it slowly with Andrade. Daniel Garcia and Yuta are perfect examples of that. Young, upcoming, telling stories right now. Keith Lee is someone they're bringing back. He's a big dude. That's why I picked my names that I did, is that these guys make sense. The only other person you can add is maybe Eddie Kingston if you want that crossover, because he's AEW talent and he has the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. That's the only crossover that I would really care for.
People mentioned Jeff Cobb. That's a good shout. He's not in Tag League. So he's been on AEW TV as well. Dude, the G1 size has grown. It grows like every year. I feel like there's like 36 freaking people this year. I don't actually think I'm too far off base with my 36, by the way.
No, because they added the D block a couple of years ago, and that just added more wrestlers to the field. So as a result, it becomes a much larger field. 12. The thing with 12 is that if it's an internal and in-house what is this, a tournament? If it's an in-house tournament, then you cannot lose the rest of your show and the rest of your stories and the depth of the roster. I know we joke about them having 100 million people on the roster, but you have to deal with injuries. You have to deal with who's actually in the promotion and like hot and working right now, and there aren't as many people there doing week to week work that you can just pull out and put into a tournament like this without expecting them to either work other matches or be part of other stories. You got to still fill the time, according to what you have in terms of depth.
I don't think Omega is going to be in it. I wish Omega was in it. I think that would, just be good. I want to see singles Kenny Omega return and just have some great matches with people. I like your list, by the way. I don't want to completely dismiss that. Like, I think this should be a good launching point for Daniel Garcia. We've seen a little bit of it with, we tried to shake MJF's hand and then he got pulled back, but then he just completely walked off when 2.0 and Ruby were doing their thing on Collision. He's like, I'm out on this. So I think this would be a good, like, further launching point for Garcia to be a wrestler. So I like him. And it, like, kind of same thing with Yuta. I like how, his position. And I like your list for the most part, as far as just getting featured talent who maybe aren't doing anything like story wise. Like, I don't think you can put someone like Wardlow in this thing because he's part of this like MJF vortex right now. I mean saying vortex, like the MJF stuff has a plot point to it. But he's part of the MJF world. Going. Same thing with like Samoa Joe. Like unless the Joe's gonna win the thing, and like beat everybody, which is cool with me. Then that's a different argument. But like they're part of that. So you kind of got to get people, kind of like Joel said, of like who are not super featured on television or don't have a real concrete story right now, or maybe won't have a concrete story coming out of Full Gear. I think the Bucks and Omega and Jericho kind of have a story coming out of Full Gear, depending on who wins and loses that, because they'll be going after the tag titles or the trios titles or whatever. Ethan Page is a good shout. Like, I think Ethan Page is someone who can be part of that. I'd like to see some ROH guys just to get them there. I don't know. Those are probably guys who are going to take some L's, which would be unfortunate. It's tough they have the talent roster to pick and choose and just have great matches. I do think like someone like Penta will be part of it, by the way. They like Penta. They always position Penta well. He can kind of take losses without like it super hurting him or anything like that. So I do think Penta will be part of it. I think the winner of Swerve and Hangman should come out of it and be part of it, but not the loser. Because like you said, then maybe you just think too much of like, oh, well, this is going to be the finals, the blow off, and then the winner gets the title shot out of it. But I do think the winner coming out of it can be part of the tournament. But then if you announce the brackets before, I wouldn't announce it beforehand, because then you're almost telegraphing the winner. It feels like, I guess you can go the other way, but then you get the complaint of like, let's say they announce Hangman and Swerve wins the Texas Death, then it goes, okay, well, why is Hangman take part of this tournament to get a shot at the title and Swerve is not? What are we doing here? We'll see if champions are part of it, because Orange Cassidy would make some sense. He's going to wrestle every week anyway, so you might as well have him as part of the tournament. It's not like champions aren't part of it in New Japan. The IWGP champion, and that's how they set up IWGP title shots heading into Wrestle Kingdom. Of they basically have the champion take a loss, and then it's like they get a title shot before Wrestle Kingdom, and then they typically win. So like, yeah, that's how you set up the title shots in G1. The brackets will be interesting. 12 names does kind of limit people, honestly. Like because they do have a good roster. So Scott's saying they already telegraphed the winner with Brian announcing the tournament with TK. I don't think so. I mean, I think Brian. By the way, I would have Brian win, but that's just my own bias. So I would totally have Brian win. I don't think that telegraphs it, because Brian is someone who has no issue taking L's. I think Brian was there because I'm sure this is something that he pushed to do. He's been pushing to do, and he's not able to do the one in Japan. So, and they wanted to announce it for All In. This is really the lead here. This is really the lead that we completely buried. They're announcing Bryan Danielson for a show in August of next year, which is great, which is fantastic. You should. They're going to put that man in some bubble wrap before then, because Bryan gets hurt a little too often. But then they're like, Bryan's also going to wrestle 6 matches in 6 weeks. But don't worry, guys. He'll be there in August. I was like, oh, man, I don't know about this. I love Bryan.
My immediate feeling was like Gato seeing the announcement for the tournament and just being like, oh, you son of a bitch. If you don't make it to Japan, I will take your eye for real. So yeah, I agree with you. Listen, Brian's going to do what Brian's going to do. He has no problem putting people over. Like you said, I don't think it telegraphs him winning. I think if anything, it makes people feel like he's going to win, but it's going to be a big deal when he doesn't. And, takes the L's here and there. He can go to a block final and lose. I'm sure that's fine, but I don't see him winning the entire thing. I think he just goes, I think he goes far, has a good showing, wrestles like he wrestles, but this is an opportunity, going back to what I was talking about with young talent. This is an opportunity for young talent to step in with Brian, to have banger matches with him, to learn from him and work with him and do it on TV. And for that, there is an opportunity for that talent and for Brian to work with the next generation.
Okay. Here's the real game here. We know Brian's part of this, right? So he's in one block. 5 names. I'm just going to pick 5 names on the roster that I'm going to be Bryan Danielson right now. Looking at this roster, like, who are the 5 names that I just want to work with? Because that's my impression that I get from Danielson. I'm just like, who the hell does Danielson want to work with? Here's an easy way to give Bryan Danielson 5 matches against somebody. So Danielson against, scrolling through the roster here, he's worked a lot of these people, which is kind of all right. Danielson against Buddy Matthews. He's picking Buddy Matthews. He wants that match, I would assume. I don't know.
Got to get him on the show to ask him.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll ask him at WrestleCade weekend. All right, Buddy Matthews. Let's take that name as one. He hasn't faced Dralistico. He might want that match.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think so.
You don't think he wants that match? Or you don't think he's faced him?
I don't think he wants that match.
Really? Okay.
There are certain ways that Dralistico works that people think he's better than he is.
I don't know. Danielson is weird. He wants all these matches.
He does. But yeah, Dralistico, like, he's fine, but there are certain things like he's got his template, and he's there to take the L's for LFI.
Josh Woods. I feel like Danielson might see something in Josh Woods. Be like, yeah, let me get in the ring with him.
That is, he is the goods.
Yeah. So okay, Josh Woods. Is he? A couple of these names I can't remember, like, if he's faced Moriarty, hasn't he?
Yeah, that was a big deal because people were like, why is he facing this guy? What does it matter that he's facing Lee Moriarty? And we were like, because it's going to be a great match. Just get over yourself. Jeff Valley Driver's here, by the way, and he doesn't want us to complain about the tournament. So, Jeff, just rewind, and we've done nothing but complain. Yeah, it's all we've done is complain about this tournament. It's awful, and we hate it. We haven't heaped praise on it at all, I promise.
All right, I'm going. Okay, has he faced Fletcher or Takeshita? I don't think he's faced either of those guys.
No, and I would like to see definitely Fletcher and Bryan. That's on my list.
Okay, he faced Takeshita in January. Completely forgot about that match. Sure. Well, all right then. So he has faced Takeshita. Yeah. He's faced Fletcher too. He actually faced Fletcher a couple weeks ago. I did remember the Fletcher match, but I was testing Joel.
Oh, you weren't. Stop it.
No, I did remember because that was a big deal that they had Danielson against Fletcher. It was literally like a month ago.
Was that when Fletcher was dealing with the Don Callis stuff and he was
he was
a man without an island? Okay, sure.
So he's faced them. Oh, Danielson against Mark Briscoe. I bet he just wants that match. Like, he probably hasn't faced Mark in years. Yeah, they haven't wrestled since 2008. All right, Mark Briscoe, put him in there. Who else does Danielson want to face? I wonder if he wants to do a rematch against Miro, because that match rolled in their tournament when they did the tournament match a few years ago.
Bryan and Fox, it would probably be one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I could see that.
He hasn't had a match with AR Fox. I don't think they've ever had a thing.
Nick Wayne, Bryan Danielson and Nick Wayne. I think he wants that match.
He wants to get his win back over Miro?
No, I don't know if I mean, maybe, but I think he wants Nick Wayne. I think he wants to face Nick Wayne. Roddy, when did Danielson and Roddy last wrestled?
Oh, Roddy is a good idea to put in this tournament because he wants to come back, right?
Yeah, they haven't wrestled since 2010 either. They were in the Greatest Royal Rumble, but I'm not really counting that. Singles match was 2010.
Yeah, that was wild. That was a long time ago.
All right, so
that Greatest Royal Rumble was like the best part of the Greatest Royal Rumble other than Titus.
Yes.
That was a big moment for him. He was like 55 minutes in that thing.
All right, so here's the 5 I've kind of narrowed it down to. Roderick Strong. Go back through of this list here. Nick Wayne. I don't think. Look, if they can get Pac over, I think he wants Pac. That's a match we haven't seen in forever.
Yeah, I do wonder what's going on with Pac in that injury.
All right, Roderick Strong, Nick Wayne, Mark Briscoe. He wrestled Buddy not too long ago. I feel like I remember that match. Maybe not. Did he not? Oh, he hasn't. He wants that Buddy Murphy. Yeah, he wants that match. Okay, Buddy Matthews. And if they can get Pac, let's throw in Pac. Otherwise, I'm gonna go. I'm kind of leaning towards Josh Woods. That's where I'm leaning towards.
And again, I don't know what's going on with Ring of Honor telling this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
definitely Trevor's asking about Danielson and Orange Cassidy. They haven't done a singles match. They wrestled tags.
yeah,
They
if
haven't done together.
yeah, if Orange Cassidy, if he's gonna be in the tournament, that's a good shout.
There's one more name that I'm going to toss out there.
Okay.
A returning Jack Perry.
Yeah, I thought about that. I don't know when he's coming back, and I don't know if this is the spot to bring him back in.
It depends on where they want to seat him. Maybe this is a tournament that he wins and essentially proves himself, quote unquote, for the audio folks, that he's that guy, that he can be that guy. And it's twofold. One, it's like, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if there are some people backstage who are still a little annoyed at him for what happened with the CM Punk stuff. But at the same time, show some growth, go in there, work, do your thing. I'm sure he's more than willing to do the work, and it could be an opportunity as long as they change his theme music ASAP.
Here's how you bring Jack Perry back. Okay,
you crash him, you have him come out Stone Cold style, goes through the real glass.
No, here's how you bring back Jack Perry. Full Gear this weekend, this Saturday, right?
Wow.
The Golden Jets against the Young Bucks. Okay. Jack Perry comes out and he aligns with Chris Jericho, baby. Jack and Chris on the same team. They screw over the Elite, and then we get Jack Perry and Chris Jericho. We love the Chris Jericho universe. Put Jack Perry in that, and we get Jack Perry and Chris Jericho together. That's what the world needs. That's how you bring back Jack Perry. And Chris Jericho is so excited to have Jack by his side. He's taking him under his wing. He gets all these young people over. He loves Jack Perry. I'm sure he has stories about Luke Perry and all this stuff, right? Like this is what we need with this. They make the little inside references to Punk and everything. Like, ha ha ha, it screws over the Elite, but he's actually, the Elite actually like him because of everything. This is brilliant right here. This is brilliant. Jack Perry, Chris Jericho. Make it happen.
I'm going to make it even worse. Jericho gets Jack Perry, and then he also picks up Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. And that's the Jericho era, which he just trademarked. The Jericho era it's just the undisputed era with Chris Jericho on top and Jack Perry added for the Bobby Fish spot, baby.
You know why he trademarked Jericho era, right? I don't think it's a group.
No, I don't either, but I know that he does this at random. But what was it for this one?
So in the press conference with Takeshita before their DDT match, he just offhandedly said the Jericho era is just beginning. And then that got picked up. And then so Jericho's like, oh, I should trademark this because he trademarks everything. So that's all it is. I don't think it is any type of group. I think that it's just he trademarked it because he said it in a promo and then it got picked up by news sites. And then he's like, I should probably trademark this and market this. So that's all it is. I don't think this is leading because it's for merchandise purposes. Like he's just gonna, because he said the Jericho era is just beginning, which is hilarious. But I don't think it's anything like that. No, Jack Perry and Chris Jericho. Here's my other idea that I thought about literally like as I was saying it, but then I swerved when I drive to go with the Jericho Jack Perry stuff.
Shouldn't do that, by the way. You shouldn't swerve.
I know. It's honestly terrible.
Really
Bad message to the kids.
It's not good.
Jack Perry helps the Elite win. He helps the Young Bucks win, right? By hitting Jericho. And then so we got the Elite and Jack Perry, and they all just do the victory lap around the ring as during the show. And people get super mad about it. I think that'd be the most hilarious outcome. Is Jack Perry helping them win, like helping the Bucks win by hitting Jericho, and Omega looks like, huh, what happened here? What's going on? And then all of a sudden, they just slowly start to raise their hands, and then Omega just slowly starts to raise his hands, and then just all 4 of them just do the victory lap around the ring, and people get just so mad about all of this, but it's funny to me.
That's awful. Let's do it. I'm still patting myself on the back for making a Jericho era group. I'm sure, and that's very, very good on Jeremy for being like, this is why he did it. Because I know that there are plenty of podcasts and plenty of pundits who are going to do what I just did. And I did it completely tongue in cheek. Like I didn't actually think we're going to get Roddy, Kyle, Jericho, and Jack Perry, though. That would be one hell of a group. And then call it the Jericho era. And then have Adam Cole come out and be like, the fuck is this?
It honestly, like, I'm not saying Jericho won't turn this into a group of the
course.
Jericho era. I'm not saying he won't. I'm letting everybody know this is why he did the trademark, though. If it turns into a group, it turns into a group. I don't put anything past Chris Jericho when it comes to this stuff. But he didn't do it because I think there's big plans for a group. He did it because of the reasons that I said.
Yeah, I hear you. I want to go back to Ethan Page for a second. People were mentioning him in this thing. My feeling is that Ethan Page is longing for that TV title in Ring of Honor. And now that they've announced this tournament, I'm starting to wonder whether or not they're going to actually run another tournament. I think this might be the ladder match at Final Battle for the TV title. They might have a couple of qualifiers or call some old matches qualifiers and then just do a ladder match with 5 or 6 guys.
We haven't seen a good ladder match in a while, so I do love a good ladder match. That makes sense. I don't think you want to run 2 tournaments with each other, although Tony loves tournaments.
I was going to say this would be a Tony Khan staple.
Yeah. But the ladder match is also a Tony Khan staple, and we haven't seen that in a while. When was the last one? It was for the vacant ROH tag titles, right? Was that the last big ladder match? They did a face of they did a face of the Revolution this year, didn't they?
Well, that was like back in the winter last year.
Hobbs. That was Hobbs winning. Wasn't that this year?
Regardless, Revolution is February, so it would have been way back in like January 2023.
Yeah, the tag titles was the last one.
Yeah, that's when Dante messed up his ankle something fierce.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes sense going with the TV title ladder match gimmick for Final Battle instead of a tournament. I think we could see that. So Ethan Page makes sense in there. I know he like posted the photo of the TV title and stuff. I'm very curious as to where they're going with the world title, who Eddie's gonna face.
Eddie gets Jay Lethal.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I know. I did this. We did this last week too. He gets Jay because nobody. First of all, you got to watch behind the paywall just to find out Eddie's on the show. Fine, sure, but like, yeah, they haven't done anything about Jay versus Eddie. They haven't made it official yet. So, yeah, that's one of the frustrations I have going into Final Battle. This show is very much the Athena Billy Starks match. I'm not complaining about that. Those women have anchored the show for the last 6 months. But in terms of the build around everything else, Josh Woods going after the Pure title is pretty much the only other thing that seems to be en route. But yeah, that's it.
Why sellable? We gotta let us know when you are attending wrestling shows because I need to pre-plan for something terrible happening.
Yes, he was talking about going to Full Gear, so we might have to plan ahead.
Oh no! No, something bad's gonna happen to Sting at Full Gear now. Oh, so cancel your plans.
Were you at All In 2020? Were you there for Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara going off the top of that platform?
That wasn't good.
No, it was not.
No. All right, he says he's not going to Full Gear. Okay, good. Sting is safe. I'm worried. I'm worried about why Soulable attending these wrestling shows. Bad stuff happens.
More like why knowable.
Boo this man.
Well, you know. Shotgun Spurs sent a super chat saying, no way Bryan Danielson will put himself over. Exactly.
See, I don't think Bryan will. I do think Tony will be like, you got to go over. Like at some point, you just got to win some of these matches. I think Bryan makes it to the block finals at the very least. At the very least, he's making the block finals.
Oh, Jeff Valley Driver went to in Toronto, there's Great Canadian Wrestling, GCW. First time I saw it, I was like, oh, not them. I think they brought in oh God, Medusa and somebody else for the show. Jeff, how was that show? Because I see their ads everywhere and I have never been to a show because they always happen like way out of the greater Toronto area. I'm very interested as to how your experience was. Please let the chat and myself know. Oh my goodness.
Great Canadian wrestling. That's an oxymoron.
I don't know how great it is because I've never attended or seen any footage of it. Very young people. I heard it's very family friendly. I did hear that. A lot of kids go. It feels like the Diener special, which is not a bad thing. Cody Diener loves wrestling, not just that, but like he loves wrestling when there are tons of kids around because he's like the Pied Piper and he gets to play his role. He's got like 50 kids anyway, but yeah, there you go. Nothing crazy in the ring. Very funny. Good crowd interaction. About 50 people. Okay. 6 kids. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Listen, I go to Greektown Wrestling where they bleed all over the place and the kids are still there having a ball. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with that. I'm going to probably go see no alcohol. Oh, okay.
No, Joe won't survive.
I don't drink. Whenever I go to Greektown now, I post up in the kitchen and help the hot dog guy while I do interviews. So like we've got one in the can with AJ Olette, who we talked about with Jock Sampson a couple weeks ago on this show. And I should probably get that interview up because the AJ Olette interview, he just lost the CFL what was it, not the final, but the semis, the conference final. So now they're talking about AJ being a wrestler again, and I'm like, should probably put something up there, put it up on Overbooked.
A Rare Beast says, for the uninitiated, can we get a breakdown of the G1 works? The AEW one is a round robin. They said, are there still brackets and such? No, there's no brackets. It is round robin. So it works similar. So here's how the G1 works. They have now the G1 has like 4 different blocks, but for AEW purposes, they have 2 blocks, 6 wrestlers each. Every wrestler will wrestle each other once. So you'll get I'm terrible at math, but everybody wrestles each other once is what it is. And then I'm assuming it works the same way as the G1, by the way. I don't feel like they announced like full on rules, but like a win is 2 points, a loss is 0 points, and a tie. I assume they're going to have time limit ties, or you could have, double count outs or something like that. A tie is 1 point. So you get 1 point for the tie. And then at the end, after you wrestle the 5 other people in your block, the 2 people with the highest point total wrestle each other in the block finals. And then the winner of that match, those 2 matches, will meet each other in the finals. Tiebreakers are determined by who won, like by if you beat that person. So let's say, I'm again using names that we don't know. Let's say Danielson, Omega, and Jericho. Let's say they all have at the end of this thing 8 points, right? They all have 8 points. I'm not even sure this is mathematically possible, but let's say they all have 8 points at the end of it and they're in the same block. Then if Danielson beat Jericho and Omega, he would be number 1. And then if Jericho beat Omega, he would be number 2. Again, I'm not sure this is the maths on that, but that's how it works. That's how tiebreakers are determined, is who beat who on that. Hopefully that makes sense. I know like trying to hear that in like audio form, it might be difficult. But once you see like kind of the bracket laid out and the layout, yeah, you're gonna be tested on this. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like it'll honestly like it'll make sense once they kind of lay it once they lay it out like on screen and everything, and once it starts to get rolling, you'll kind of you'll pick up pretty easily. And the fact that it's only like 6 wrestlers in each block, it ain't that difficult to follow once it gets rolling. Like the G1 with their friggin' 4 blocks and 8 people in each block, it gets just convoluted mess. And then it's like, then this year I even got confused because it was like the A block top person faces the D block second place finisher in what I'm like, the fuck is going on with this stuff? So yeah, they made it very confusing for even people who follow this stuff. But once it gets rolling, I think it'll be pretty easy to follow.
I think you nailed it on the head. One thing that they really should and need to do is put up a graphic explaining the rules, something that people are going to see, screen cap, pass around, hopefully get an idea, like a cheat sheet, something that would hopefully make this thing make sense. I'm sure they'll do it because it would benefit the tournament.
We're gonna have on Fightful.com. We do this for all the New Japan stuff, and so we're gonna do it for AEW as well. We have basically like the updated standings and results archive. So you can click on that, you can see what the standings are, and you can click on the match you can click on the results archive as well. We do it for all the New Japan, like because they do multiple. They do Super Junior Tag League, World Tag League, which starts on November 20th. So it actually starts before AEW starts, the C2. So Junior Tag League, World Tag League, Best of Super Juniors, G1. AW does like not AW. New Japan does like 4 round robin tournaments a year. So we do a results archive and standings archive for that. We'll do the same one for the AEW tournament.
And the other thing is, Jeff Valley Driver had a good one here. Call it the TK1 because the Continental Classic sounds like a hotel breakfast. It does. And I appreciate that. What do you think they serve at this Continental breakfast? Chops?
Same thing they serve in every Continental breakfast. A lot of
bagels,
old bacon and nasty eggs and bagels.
Cardboard.
I always get the cereal. I don't trust any of that other food. The cereal, at least I know, like that's coming from the cereal factory.
What kind of cereal are we eating here?
I like Fruit Loops.
Oh yeah, Fruit Loops are good. Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. Frosted Flakes. I do like the Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, we're kind of a problem here. We're very unhealthy people.
Yeah,
I got it.
Well, you'd be even more unhealthy if you eat that Continental breakfast stuff.
That's true. My kid eats Cheerios, like multigrain Cheerios, by the fistful. Like it's hilarious. When I pick him up, I put some in his little stroller tray, and he like grabs a bunch, shoves them in his mouth, and I'll be like, "What did we say?" And he'll stop himself mid fist and face, and be like, "Thank you."
That's how I eat my Cheerios as well. So like I respect it.
Fistful. Yeah, that's how you get. I see cinnamon toast crunch in there.
Okay. Shout.
Someone in the chat mentions Ribera. Did you see Steph DeLander went to Ribera?
I did.
Twice, she said. Now we got to get Steph on this show to get her to bury Ribera.
I'm fine with that. Go Golden Grams. That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's good. Did you ever like what was oh my god, the honey crisp?
Honey crisp? I like honeycomb. The honeycomb was my jam.
Yeah, honey crisp was awful.
I don't remember having the honey crisp, but I love the honeycomb.
Count Chocula, man, now we're getting into it.
Okay. I like the Captain Crunch. When they went to the Captain Crunch Oops All Berries, the berries were the best part, right? Like they did Oops All Berries. Yeah, it's just pure sugar. That's why it's the best part. But they went to the Oops All Berries. It turned your shit green. Like if you ate enough of it, like your poop
that's not good.
Green.
That's not good.
No. Just a heads up for everybody. If you eat like enough Oops All Berries, your poop will turn green. So if you want to turn your poop green, there you go, everyone.
Doesn't that mean that your stomach is having problems, digesting it properly?
I don't know. Possibly. I feel like, that shit's probably tough to digest. Like it's nothing but just a little sugar ball, and I don't know. Tricks was good. Yeah, I did. They were only for kids though.
I see these everywhere, Jeff Valley Driver, these Timbits cereal. So for those who don't know Timbits, they're donut holes. They're just like, I think like Duncan has them, and everyone has their form of like donut holes, right?
Right.
So Timbits are like the thing here because of Tim Hortons, and they have a cereal that's based on the flavors of it. I see that shit everywhere, and I refuse to buy it. When we buy cereal, we buy the jumbo box, which is like a kilogram. I don't know what that is in pounds. Y'all figure it out yourselves. But like, it's basically just 2 big boxes there. I shit you not, taped together. They come taped together, and like by the factory, like the barcode is on the tape that is taped together with the boxes, and then you just untape them and you use one at a time. That's what we do at this house.
Fruity Pebbles is a good shout. I would try that Timbits. That sounds really good. Fruity Pebbles,
back one box.
What's that?
I'll get Kate to bring you back a box. She's supposedly coming up here in December.
That's unfortunate. Okay.
Tell me about it. She's got to sleep in this office.
That's even more unfortunate.
And I know. I got to get a new mattress for her because the old one's gone.
Cookie Crisp. That's good.
Yeah.
They did. Oh, they did these Oreo O's. So they're little Oreo like cereal. Oh, that's cocaine right there. That's crack. I would eat so much of that stuff just like straight out of the box. I wouldn't even putting that shit in milk. It's really good in milk, but like I didn't even care. Just eating that straight out of the box. That was good stuff right there.
I was man, goldfish. I was never a big goldfish guy. And then we started
Okay.
giving it to the kid, and now it's game over. Now I eat them
Goldfish
too.
is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What does
And
this have to do with cereal, Joel?
well, no, I'm just thinking about like you were talking about stuff just eating it out of the box. And I was
Mhm.
thinking about goldfish being that and like different cereals that I probably haven't eaten since I was a kid because I don't eat cereal much unless I'm on the road. And then it's just in the continental breakfast. And it's true. Like the last time I had cereal was in May when I was in Calgary doing some work and I was having the breakfast there. But yeah, that was what I ate was like Fruit Loops and Frosted Flakes. But yeah, goldfish. That's something that I also was thinking I eat.
Frosted Flakes is something I eat when I'm like really stoned. Like if
Mhm.
I'm like super high and like I got munchies and stuff, just straight Frosted Flakes right out of the box. Just doesn't even matter. That's what I'm going with.
Listen, if Magic Spoon sponsors this channel, we'll talk about Magic Spoon. But they ain't sponsoring this channel, so they ain't getting their shout outs. That's all.
You mentioned them, not me.
That's right. Is there anything else from Collision that you want to bring up? With the main topic was obviously the tournament, but then Adam Copeland also had a match. That was the main event.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Was there anything else that really stuck out from Collision that you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think what else happened. It was a taped show, so but like they did some like big announcements and everything. Like they got the 4-way tag title match at Full Gear. They announced the TBS title match at Full Gear. Getting 2 women's title matches on the show. Everybody, I don't think any of them are going to be bumped to the pre-show. Maybe not.
Well, buy-in right now is just the MJF tag match, right? The
I don't.
ROH
Yeah, I
tag?
think that was buy-in. I'm pretty sure that's been
Yeah, that's
announced.
0 hours. Sorry, it's 0 hour now.
Yeah, 0 hour. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting that for right now. There's going to be a lot of. They're still going to add more matches, I'm sure, because they love their 18 match cards.
We're at 9, so we're halfway there.
They're going to add more to the buy-in, like they're going to or the 0 hour. They're going to add more to that. They're going to just get. They're going to get people on the show on that. Rampage was solid. That was live. FTR and Commander Vikingo was really fun. So yeah, that was a live show. That was really fun. Yeah, it was a good week for AEW after everyone buried AEW the week before. Tony Khan says, "All right, we're gonna give you your banger matches and everything," and then the ratings went down. So clearly, nobody wants banger matches. They want great messy stories.
Starting to think that this is going to be the card. Maybe they had one more match. Oh, then again, they did a 13-minute. Oh no, that was last year. I'm trying to think of what the cards have been lately for AEW pay-per-views. Because we're on 9 matches. Nope, 14 matches on the Wrestle Dream card.
Yeah, they're gonna add a lot more, Joel. Don't worry
They're
about it.
definitely gonna add more. But I'm thinking like every match so far is some sort of stipulation match, with the exception of the 6-man tag team match. And by stipulation, I mean like a title match or some sort of added stipulation to it. So like Sting Darby and Adam Copeland versus Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. That's the only just straight up 6-man tag team match. Everything else has something associated with it, whether it be a title or the Golden Jets Young Bucks match, which loser, they had to disband or give up the title shot.
They're gonna add more. Don't worry about it, Joel. They're gonna find a way to add more stuff. They might add like Andrade and Miro to it, since that's been kind of a thing. They're
Sure.
don't question AEW and just adding matches for the sake of adding matches. Like it makes sense. Like they're kind of they're kind of on opposite ends right now, so it makes sense why they would add it. The Acclaimed, just random 6-man or trios title defense. Like I don't know against who. The Dark Order, because why not? Like,
Oh no!
just
Oh, they're gonna get the Righteous and Lance Archer.
There you go. Yeah, Righteous and Lance Archer. Yeah, before Lance goes to Japan. I don't know. That's going to be cutting it close because the tournament starts on November 20th. That's going to be cutting it close for old Lance.
Well, does he
Yeah,
have the first match on the first night?
I think they're running like it's all. I don't know. I'd have to look at the schedule.
Who knows who it's going to be? I'm sure there's a 6-man tag out there. It'll be FTR with a friend.
No, FTR's in the tag title match.
Oh yeah, they're in the tag title match.
Yeah.
I don't know what makes sense. The Acclaimed versus the Kingdom with
Kingdom.
Roddy Strong, David and Bennett, because I mean, Roddy's wrestling, so they could have him. I don't know what makes sense. I guess we'll probably find out as early as Wednesday.
Yeah, they'll announce some stuff on Wednesday. They will. Just maybe it's the Kingdom because it's for MJF's love along with the trios titles.
He does love. Chattown's first sent a super chat saying, "Is Julia Hart in contention for most improved wrestler of the year? I bet she wins the title on Full Gear." Second part, I'm starting to really believe that. They gave her the one shot. She didn't win, but people were definitely behind her in that match. She's been really performing well. And Chris Statlander, I think it's really frustrating because Chris is a good wrestler. She's mentioned a lot that she wants to get better with her promo work and wants to feel more comfortable and confident behind the microphone. But at the same time, you had Tony, who was basically building up Chris to defeat Jade Cargill once all of this stuff happened with Stack getting injured, and of course Jade just kept rolling, and it was just it felt very awkward that they just kind of veered back into Statlander winning, and not much really was gained from it other than she won the title and then had another match with Jade. So I do think that Julia Hart would be a really good victory, and then would you have the Kings of the Black Throne capture the tag titles at the same time and let them be big and let Buddy Matthews have a run in that tournament? Like, is this the moment that you pull the trigger and make it big for I was going to say Kings of the Black Throne, but you know what I mean?
I'm not mad at that idea. Yeah, I mean they kind of said as much on Collision in that promo, which was a cool little thing with them. I'm fine like if that's the direction they go with House of Black. Just give me these dudes like kicking ass and stuff. I don't the Mist stuff does nothing for me. Like all the spooky stuff does nothing. Them is just like ass kickers who are just kind of spooky. Cool. I'm fine with that. Them as spooky people who sometimes want to beat people up and blow people. I don't want any of that.
Excuse me? They want to what?
Blow them. They what'd I say?
Well, you said blow them.
They blow them with mist.
They missed
know what
them.
I meant.
They missed them, Jeremy. They
blow mist at them.
Yeah, no, blowing is what happens when Moose and Myers get in the 60
they go
on a pay-per-view.
They go
they
blow.
No, phrasing is important here.
And they blow them.
No, phrasing. No,
they do. They go.
They don't.
The mist comes out of their mouth.
Not if you go, the mist doesn't work. If you spit it, they spit at them. That works. They missed them.
Have you ever misted people? I don't know how it works. Okay.
I don't blow them. I miss them.
They go.
My child missed me. You ask him for a kiss and he just.
They go.
No, absolutely not.
That's how it works.
No, it's not. It does. It does. It's not a blowing. It's not blowing. They're spitters. You spit water. You don't blow water.
I can blow water. Hold on, I got water right here.
Please don't make your laptop turn off by blowing water.
I need to do this. I'll blow water into this cup. All right, ready?
This sounds like a bad idea.
Hold on.
Oh God, do you have a change of clothes nearby? Such a bad idea. This is such a video bit.
There.
No, you didn't. You spat it.
I did. No, I didn't spit. I blew.
No, you're blowing bubbles, Jeremy. Don't do that.
No, I went.
No, you don't. They're not blowers. They're not blowers.
I blew the water.
No, the water is clear. It's not blue. You didn't turn it blue.
I turned it it's like a coffee color right now because I blew it into my coffee mug.
That sounds gross.
That's what happened. I blew the water, everybody.
Hey, what card's gonna have more matches on it? Wrestle Kingdom or Full Gear?
Oh, Wrestle Kingdom's always got 300 matches, and they always do a bunch of title changes. I don't know, like that's just standard for all New Japan shows, though.
They already have.
I didn't spit. I blew.
No, it's spitting. You've been told.
I blew the water.
This is Monday content. This is what we do 3 times a week. So your Monday content also stretches into Wednesdays and Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern till noon here on Fightful Overbooked. Get your super chats in and tell Jeremy that he blows. What? That was a good one. I got it. Oh God, what are we good on AEW right now?
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the devil? The devil is a lie.
No, we've talked about the devil on Friday. We talked about it enough. I'm sure when the devil zooms in on Wednesday, we'll talk about it again. But it feels like they're starting to lay the groundwork there. But Full Gear, like we talked about on Friday, will probably be one of the more seminal beats of the story, presumably in front of the crowd as well. You think they're going to get the Rolling Stones again? Think they'll get sympathy for the devil?
I think so if they can. Yeah.
I wonder how many times they have that song. Tony never really answered that question.
They should get Rick Ross, The Devil is a Lie. That's the song. They got a good relationship with Rick. What if Rick Ross is the devil?
It's a little, the devil costume's a little too small on him.
Nah, so hey, you don't know Rick Ross's workout plan. It could be good loss.
Lies and accusations, Jeremy.
Huh? Rick Ross impression. He ad-libs. Name 5 Rick Ross songs, Joel.
No, I can't.
Wow.
What? I just answered your question.
Oh, man, Rick Ross rules. What does Rick Ross do every day, Joel Pearl?
Win?
No, Joel. Guys, this is what I got to deal with.
Well, yes.
This is what I have to deal with. When I asked the question of what Rick Ross does every day, he said win. Guys, do you see?
Does he do hustling? Is that the one every day?
Every day he's hustling.
Like,
Joel.
You know why I've blocked out that song from my memory? Because 2 reasons.
You're a hater?
Yes, because LMFAO completely ruined that. And 2, Orthodox Jews then ruined it even further. Sorry to my Orthodox Jewish brethren. You all get on the gimmick way too late and just kills whatever momentum it has.
I don't care about LMFAO. I don't know anything about Orthodox Jews or Southpaw Jews. All I'm talking about is Rick Ross hustling, man. Every day he's hustling, Joel.
Yeah, but I'm also very...
He knows Noriega. The real Noriega. Noriega owes him 100 favors.
Asuka joined Damage CTRL on SmackDown this past week. Dude, I don't care.
Have a good discussion about Rick Ross.
Listen, if you want a good discussion with the battle rapper, just go listen to Grapsity from this past week. They absolutely killed it. They had a good time. I forget the guest's name. You know the
DNA.
Guy. DNA. There you go. Yes. He was great.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm going to replace you with Jeff Valley Driver. He will get my Rick Ross references. It's Canadian. It's all the same.
Apparently, he's fairly local to where I am. So
yeah, Jeff Valley Driver, just go to Joel's place right now, punch him in the face, take his spot, and you can do the show with me. And we can talk about Rick Ross.
Yeah, if you can get past security, come on up. Dalton Castle and the boys, right? That's who he talks about? Dalton Castle?
Just awful. That's awful.
Yeah, I'm a lot of things.
All right, what's next? What are we talking about?
Let's go over to SmackDown. Let's talk about Asuka. Let's talk about that whole scene. Because I sat with you on
Asuka blew Bianca with the mist.
Misted Bianca is all you have to say.
I said it correctly. She blew her with the mist.
She spat mist in her eyes.
Tomato.
Oh, God. See, it's just one glass is wearing Canadian with another.
One understands my Rick Ross references, which are elite, and the other one is Joel Pearl. So
Asuka comes out to be the member of the Charlotte Flair Bianca Belair team. And I said to myself, What does Asuka do every time she has a chance to be around Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair? She blows mist in their face. That one's for you. Asuka joins Damage Control. I really love it. I'm really happy to see it. We talked on Friday about the women's WarGames match, and you were like, I don't know if they're going to do it. And it feels like they are going to do it. Now each team just has to find one more if they're going to do a 5-on-5 WarGames match.
They're not. You got to get this 5-on-5. They can do 4-on-4. It's okay.
No, they're going to do 5-on-5. But they got to find their teams though. So we got one side is Damage Control, minus Dakota Kai, who still can't go, unfortunately. But you can do 4-on-4. Sure, for you, 4-on-4. Because I like you so much. 4-on-4. So I guess that opens up the question: who's going to be on the babyface side?
Dude, here's my dream scenario, right? Here's my dream scenario.
Bryan Danielson.
You got Bianca, you got Shotzi, you got Charlotte, right? That's the three. So they need a babyface, right? And Shotzi and Bianca are like, what about Becky? And Charlotte's like, it doesn't work for me, brother.
You just be like, how about not?
Charlotte is just so cold on this idea. She's like, I don't know if we can trust Becky. I don't know about Becky doing this. Then Becky comes in there. It's like, what's up, guys? How we doing? And then Charlotte's just like, nah, I don't think we can trust her. Everybody. And then in the end, like, Damage Control should win this match. So I don't think Charlotte and Bianca or the Charlotte team should win. It's Team Charlotte, everybody. Sorry. I don't think Team Charlotte should win. But in the end of just like Team Charlotte winning and Charlotte just stacking all of Damage Control as everybody else is laid out, that's where the money is, right there. Hashtag bow down, everyone.
Hashtag bow down. My feeling is Becky. Yeah, Becky joins. Much to the dismay of Charlotte, would be very funny. Where she's just like, I don't want this. But Bianca and Becky have a history being on WarGames teams together. They did it last year, and then they did the press conference afterwards. I mentioned this with Kate, where Becky was like, I want to win the Royal Rumble, be the first woman to win it twice in the women's Royal Rumble scheme. And Bianca wants to beat all the 4 horsewomen. So I feel like they can just double down on that down the line. As for Bayley, Io, Kyrie, and Asuka, there's a story there with Damage Control, because Bayley's going to have to be, the oblivious idiot who potentially gets jumped out of her own faction, unless you have Kyrie and Asuka team up with Bayley and take out Io and turn her into a babyface. And then she's a woman without an island. The only other person I would take out, if it's not Becky, I really wouldn't mind Zelina Vega. And the reason for that being, after this past week on SmackDown, speaking of people without an island, she is about to become a woman without an island. And she's probably pretty pissed that her entire group just imploded, and she's going to want to kick someone's ass as a result of that. So she can easily walk up to Bianca, Shotzi, and Charlotte and be like, I'm your girl. I'll beat the shit out of anyone right now. I'm I'm not happy. And then she gets an opportunity to prove herself. And then Michin is the other one. Mia Yim coming in and just being like, I've done this before. And then being like, yes, you have. Let's go.
So who's on the Damage Control side, though, if they add Zelina and Mia?
No. I was just saying, with Mia and Zelina, one of them could, instead of Becky, one of them could be. So basically you're looking at Becky, Zelina, or Mia joining that team and rounding out to make 4. Or you can have maybe Zelina turns heel and now it's a 5-on-5. And then you add Michin and you add Zelina. I think that's overbooked. I do. I'd rather do the 4, do Bayley, Io, Kyrie, and Asuka versus Bianca, Shotzi, Charlotte, and one of the 3 women we're talking about.
I think you got to get Becky on this show. And I know Becky hasn't done like too much substantial on main roster since she lost the NXT title. And even then on main roster, she was just like defending the NXT title on Raw. But I think you got to get Becky on this show, because I don't know if there's another. There's not going to be another women's spot. This is it. Like, this is the card at this point. They did like 5-6 matches last year. That's what they're at now. They've already got the Rhea and Zoe Stark match. So I don't know where else. It's not like Becky's in some type of prominent storyline or anything. I think you try to get Becky on this show. Her as the final member. It only makes sense in the fact of like Bianca being like, we called her last year. It worked. I know we can trust her. It kind of like I was being a little facetious of Charlotte being like, I don't like that idea, but also like it makes sense of Bianca and Shotzi being like, no, we can trust her. It's good. It worked last year. And Charlotte being like, we don't have the best history, guys. I don't know if this is gonna work. And then you kind of side eye it throughout the match and stuff. And it can play into the finish, honestly, whether like Charlotte accidentally hits Becky or accidentally hits Bianca and then Damage Control wins. Because I think if Damage Control loses this WarGames match, we gotta take the pencil from Paul. We gotta go in there. We gotta be like, hand it over, buddy. Hand it, place it right there, place it in my hand. This is mine now. You get it back when you prove you know what you're doing with it. They cannot lose this match. They just can't do it. They can't.
I love that Senior Nerd in the chat has broken the AI bot known as ASUKA, because while we've been on the air, Logan Paul posted a video of him trying to pawn the U.S. Championship for $100,000, and I just saw it now, and it's very funny. But yeah, that's just funny that it broke the bot. Yeah, again, it comes down to Becky. It just comes down to whether or not there is a story that they're going to tell, or if it's just going to be Becky walks in and be like, gotcha, I want to beat those dopes, and then them just being like, okay, and they hug and everyone's happy. Could be as easy as that, but I hope not. I do hope they tell the story of the background between the women. What's going on? Hello, Sean.
Hello, Sean.
How's the meal prep today?
It's pulled chicken, sweet potato mash, and broccoli.
Nice. You got some seasoning on that?
Yeah, a little bit of barbecue seasoning on the pulled chicken.
Okay, that's a good start. You sound a little tired today.
I'm not tired, not at all.
No, never.
Bengals lost yesterday. I was there.
Yeah, I was gonna like, my team sucks, so
Yeah,
like I can't even like say anything. But you know, I don't like making fun of other teams. I will say I was a little irritated that Tyler Boyd couldn't make that catch because he lost me some cash, and I don't appreciate that, Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I don't appreciate it either. But I'll tell you what is funny to me is that the Panthers could have given up significantly less to get CJ Stroud than they did.
Yeah. Or they could have just made the right pick at number 1 and gotten CJ Stroud. That would have been cool too. But dude, Sean, I therapized in that Seth Rollins article. People are like, damn, why did Fightful have to bury my Panthers like that in this article? It's like, I'm burying my own team in this article because the Bears beat the Panthers. If you're losing to the Bears, something's wrong.
I tell you what I don't like. That Molly Bell.
Hey,
that controversial piece of garbage, Molly Bell.
Molly Bell gets heat for stuff. I mean, you get heat for Molly
what are you talking about? I get heat.
Yeah, you got the heat
for things I don't even do.
Yeah. I was waiting for someone to get, mad at you for writing about the Panthers in such a negatory way, and nope, just no one cares.
Oh, at least once a week I'll have a wrestler that's like, why did you write this? And I'm like, there are bylines on every single one of our articles.
I feel like you might get that today for something that I wrote.
Ooh, what is it? Hopefully nothing about Michael Elgin.
No, this is a Stevie Richards claiming that AEW contacted him after one of the videos, and his words were, he said stuff, and look, he said it. I don't know, but
I've never talked to Stevie before. I mean, I've always thought he seemed to be like a nice dude, but the company you keep,
Yeah.
We talked about that a few weeks ago, Sean, when you were here. It was like it was when he put up the video and then had it taken down, and we were just like, I hope this doesn't become a thing. And it looks like it's becoming a thing.
And unfortunately, I mean, so the Fightful channel got shut down for like a month plus, like years ago. And it's because of a sister channel that was somehow like 3 degrees removed from us under Jimmy's umbrella, had some copyright stuff done on it from WBD of all people, Warner Brothers. It was Warner Brothers. And of course, we didn't have that connection then because AEW was just getting started and all that stuff. If I remember right, I think it was the beginning of 2020. But like, we didn't hold a grudge against them for that. Shit happens. It's a mistake. And the reality is, okay, here's something a lot of people might not know. Every AEW show, every Raw, every SmackDown, I don't know if Impact does it too. The broadcast from the start of the time when they start filming, like dark matches, through the last dark matches, is filmed and streamed privately to a company's YouTube channel. And the reason they do that is for content protection purposes. So then the automatic algorithm, the bots, if any of that footage makes it on the air for, anybody, like if Fightful takes a 3-minute clip and puts it on there. It happened with the Jey Uso yeet thing from the press conference. We got flagged for that. It's automatic. And there is an option, a copyright option within YouTube that automatically detects all this stuff. Every week, I find at least 3 or 4 people that are using our footage. It told me that Vince Russo was using our footage for one of his stupid ass shows. So, like, I look. Go ahead.
I don't think, based on what Stevie is saying, I don't think it was because he was like using footage like that. I think it would
really
his word. I'll tell. Look, I got the article right here.
Okay.
So he said that I'm not going to say who it is, but it was more than one, and there's not a ton of them. He's saying an AEW agent contacted him after this video, saying it's more than one. There's not a ton of them, so you can guess. When they said it was me, it was universally like the conversation was 2 men. Hey, call me. I want to talk and clear the air about this. I make the call. We talk. It was literally the first minute or 2, pleasantries. And then I know we have to talk about this and see, tell me where I was wrong, where I was right. The agent is saying this. You were wrong in saying the blame is on the agents or producers. We try to tell these kids what to do, how to be safe. They don't listen. They can't be coached. And then they went on for 10 to 20 minutes telling me how I had no idea how right I was in the video, but they wanted them to take it down because he was too right, apparently.
Interesting.
So what you're telling me is that I have questions to ask Mr. JL on December 26th in Toronto.
Stevie is Rene Dupree's podcast is where you just go and people just
get anything you want.
Yeah, just say
there you go.
Just say things. But yeah, he was told to take it down because he was too right, and he got called by AEW agents. I don't think it was a copyright issue. I mean, maybe it was.
Interesting. I know he had a copyright issue with them because they did a takedown.
No, the way he is framing it is certainly that it wasn't so much a copyright. It was so much of like, hey, let's not bury our talent, but you were actually right of what you said. We talked about it on when it was taken down, and you mentioned, Sean, that the breakdown that he does, like, those are good. He doesn't
wonderful.
need to do. He's doesn't need to do the whole like, where was Tony Khan to check on Moxley type of thing. Like, he doesn't need to.
There had already been footage that had emerged of him checking on John Moxley.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he is so good at doing those breakdowns of like what went wrong, what happened, and all that stuff. Because he's just really good at it. He's really good at it.
Well, I'm letting you know now, if someone in AEW messages like, hey, what Stevie says is bullshit, no one contacted him about anything, can you take that down? That is the article they are referencing.
Sure. That's why I say claimed.
Yes, and that is
that
is what I wrote. I've learned that lesson of says and all of this stuff.
One day we'll do a full media literacy podcast that I can't wait for the bad faith accounts to hate watch and then say, oh, well, this is why, because they don't know. They act like we're supposed to be fucking Miss Cleo over here and be omnipotent and all that stuff. Like, I am truly not looking forward to Survivor Series. I know in my heart of hearts what will and won't happen with that situation. I'm just not looking forward to it. I am so not looking forward to how terrible people are that day. Just not looking forward to it.
Can we make episode 100 of this show the media literacy episode?
We're close
when is
to
that?
episode 100, aren't we?
This is episode 91 or 92.
Yeah, possibly. I think that'd be good.
I know we're.
I'll tell you what I'm not doing. Showing up at 10 a.m.
That's fair. I get it. You want to show up at 8 o'clock instead? Really go for it. I just figured out, by the way, if I do the show, if I go to Vegas and I'm still going to be in Vegas on the Monday, that's a 7 a.m. start time for me on this show. Oh, that's going to be fun.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Like, you'll still be on, Eastern time. It'll be fine. You'll be all right.
I don't know about that. My body adapts pretty quickly with that stuff.
I had a conversation with someone this weekend. I won't say names, but there aren't many people I'm friends with, so you can guess who the names are. I had a conversation with someone, and they were like talking about they're not online too much, bless them, but they were talking about just like the news and all of this stuff and how serious they take it. And I'm just like, when we do this and we take it very serious, and Sean knows this because I contact him every month and get frustrated with things. But I've learned of like, I get frustrated with things of like things that aren't done, things that I should be doing quicker, stuff like that. And then I like take a step back and I'm like, if I get this done 5 minutes quicker than everybody else, who I'm serving? Like the idiots online who are going to take it out of context anyway and just be mad about it anyway. It's like, why am I getting that frustrated and that angry over this, like just this in general, when it's like the main people who this serves is unfortunately just not great people. And I know there are a lot of great people out there that like all this stuff like very much helps them, but like the people that comment on the most are just angry about things. And I'm just like, what are we doing? It's not that serious. It's really not.
Yeah, it's not. And there are so many people that think that we are supposed to waterboard and interrogate and depose people in interviews, all this stuff. And I'm like, guys, ultimately, sometimes we have to cover some serious things, but ultimately, this stuff is not that serious. The large majority, about 98% of what we cover is not that serious. Now, there are absolutely times when we do. Speaking out was one of the worst things I've ever had to cover in my life. It sucked to have to cover that, but it's something that had to be covered. It had to be for the general safety and knowledge of people that are associated with wrestling, because a lot of those things were things that needed to be said a long time ago, and people didn't feel safe enough to. But there, stuff like Vince McMahon's thing, like I didn't enjoy covering that, but we did a really good job of covering it, and we had more information than anybody that wasn't the Wall Street Journal on that situation.
How come you didn't break the news, Sean? How come you didn't break the news that Vince was stepping down and all these allegations?
Because he was mowing his lawn. Don't you remember? He was out mowing.
No, I wasn't mowing my lawn. This is sincere. And I don't know if I could have even fired off the tweet in time. I was watering my grass. Not only was I touching grass, I was trying to cultivate and create more grass.
The rain does that. The rain.
No, not here. Not here. When we bought this house, it was bare in the background. That's another weird thing. I had somebody from a catfish account last week who very clearly had never been called on her having a fake catfish account. Because one, if you look like that, why are you trolling me on the internet? You're not a hot woman if you're trolling me on the internet. They're big shocker there. That's
wow. Sean Ross Sapp says only ugly people troll him.
Yes, that is accurate. Only ugly losers spend their time trolling on the internet. But she was like, "Oh yeah, I bet you're having fun in Ewing, Kentucky." And I was like, "Congratulations, I moved from there 2 years ago." We called me the Ewing Express on the air for like a year when I was feuding with Melissa. Like, good job there. Good job. I've been doxxed since then with accurate information. You got to do better. And then she said, like, this is what people will say in an effort to make themselves look normal. Yeah, I didn't look it up. It was on a Discord a year and a half ago. I'm sorry, that doesn't make you sound more normal.
You have to join Discords in order to
join Discord in order to do that. I promise you guys, this shit ain't that serious. It is not that serious. And you know what? While I'm here, I'll have some people, a little preview of the media literacy episode. Why don't you pick on this person? Why don't you pick on that person? Have either of you two ever seen me pick on somebody for getting a story right?
No, because
Never.
I know people who not that you dislike, but who have not done business great. But if they get something right, you are like, no, they get stories right. Like they do
There
a
you
great
go.
job, even if sometimes they don't go about it the right way.
I want accurate information. When I approached this job, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to never make anything up. I'm not saying that anybody else before me did, but that was my big rule. Don't make anything up, and don't let my own personal like feelings on a storyline or anything like that carry over into the news. Podcast, whatever, it's opinion. Big shocker there. We're allowed to have opinions too, but they
I think
don't go
that's
into the story.
right.
You're not going to ever put your opinion into a news story unless it's very clearly tongue-in-cheek or parody or satire or something like that. And I'll have people that are like, yeah, you're bullying this person because you want to be the only source. Hell no, I don't want to be the only source. I would love for other sources to emerge. I was very helpful to Gary Cassidy. I liked it when Alex McCarthy was out there breaking news. Like I feel as if we are the best at finding out additional details on things too. Because realistically, we're not going to break everything. And I don't think that's healthy if we even did. But I think that we are absolutely the best at getting additional news on almost anything else. So I want more of that stuff. I want to be able to piggyback off of other people's stuff as well. Like that's the benefit of what we do. And one of the perks of our paywall. But if people get 2-3 dozen things wrong, period, much less over the course of a few months, well, that's going to cause me to go, well, I'm going to ask about this, or it'll get us to a point where we say, no, we're never going to run this person's stuff. Because if could you imagine if I had ever gotten 1 dozen things wrong, let alone 2 or 3 in like a year? Like that would, our subscriptions would be nothing. It'd be ridiculous. It'd be empty. I don't get it.
And then we wouldn't get to report on 2019 NXT Halloween scoops.
I had to
brought
sit
you
in
something.
I've got a document where I keep everything, and I intentionally kept that for Halloween week. And then I looked at the calendar yesterday and I went, God damn it.
You guys posted the article at least from the
Because I had it scheduled for
Yeah.
like 6 months.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was scheduled.
It was
back
originally
in-
scheduled for like July, and then I was like, I think we were just like, no, let's just push this back to like day of Halloween, and then see if we can add to it before then. Andrew Zarian says nice things about you, Sean. Sean has been amazing to me when it comes to covering wrestling. Been doing this for years, and no one has helped or been more as transparent as he has been with me.
Next year, my Halloween costume, I'm just going to wear earrings that are buttons, and I'm going to be Andrew Zarian's shirt.
Really reached on that one. Good
No,
on
I
you.
didn't. They're never buttoned.
Oh god, that's awful. I miss Andrew Zarian. He needs to come back on the show. We never see him
Yes,
anymore.
me too.
He never calls.
Mm.
I know.
Sean, I think the one scoop that everyone wants to know, though,
Oh, sorry.
and
Brandon Thurston.
Oh,
Incredible.
dude.
Incredible.
great.
Found something that nobody else was doing and became the best at it and the most respected voice at it, period. He's so good.
Sean, before we let you go, because I'm going to kick you off because we have other stuff to talk about.
Mhm.
I don't know. Is CM Punk going to be at Survivor Series?
I know that you're asking that in jest. I'll read verbatim. I'll read verbatim from one of the contacts that I had. Specifically,
DM me.
no, I'll read it verbatim.
Okay.
Specifically, verbatim from the person that first reached out to me. I am of the belief it was under the direction of Triple H, by the way, that I was contacted, which isn't, rare. I did say, does Triple H want to give Fightful an official comment ahead of Survivor Series? And they did say, no, ha. And then I said, yeah, well, maybe Sports Illustrated. I said, Punk was also telling his friends he's not going to be there, and WWE and he have not been talking. That person replied, "What a truthful man." That was on Wednesday, November 8th.
There you go.
There you go.
Let me
Still gonna
reiterate.
ask.
I will
every
have an
time.
FAQ on Fightful Select next week. I'm going to do a written CM Punk FAQ, and I'll allow people to ask questions in the comments as well. It is wrestling. Anything can happen. Dakota Kai got hired the day before she showed up at SummerSlam. I can't remember if I mentioned this on this show, but after the Billy Batty stuff on the Saturday, Karrion Kross got in his face on a Sunday. He and I were giggling and hee-heeing about it on the phone on a Monday. He had not yet been contacted by WWE. I told him they were going to call him. I was like, oh, so you're going back. And he's like, what? So either he's a phenomenal actor or he didn't know at that point. But I was like, yeah, I hear you're coming back. No, I didn't expect him to be back Friday, but he was back Friday. That's how soon this stuff happens. But
look at Miss Cleo over here.
Call me now.
No, the problem was you called him. Oh, no.
He left.
That's fine.
Every time he comes on, I'm asking about CM Punk at Survivor Series.
The problem is this time it didn't get rid of him. It actually made him stay and give us more.
People want the hard-hitting questions.
That's right. The hard-hitting home truths or whatever.
How come you're not asking about CM Punk? Well, I'm here to ask.
That's right. Chi-Town Spurs also says, I'd like to thank Jeremy and the Panthers for giving us Marvin Harrison Jr.
I didn't have anything to do with that. You can thank the Panthers and their terrible franchise management and their terrible owner who wants to get involved and all of his terrible hires and the terrible product they put on the field, which is like the most boring football in the world. Like, it's boring to watch this team play. It's a waste of time. I would rather just hit myself with a rake for 3 hours than watch this football. That's a better use of my time, is to jump on a bunch of rakes instead of watching football for 3 hours, watching Panthers football. It's terrible.
Would you make the sound that Sideshow Bob makes when he steps on rakes?
Yes. I don't know what sound that is. Simpsons is terrible.
Yeah, I know. Someone's asking if we read the Twitch chat. Wow. Words.
Clearly
Someone's asking if we read the Twitch chat. No, we don't.
Clearly we don't, because Joel can't even pronounce Twitch.
No, I had a whole bit about Twitch yesterday with Kate. We're still on Twitch. We still broadcast there. You can send us your bits and you can do all that stuff. We still appreciate that. And your super chats still go far here. What else do we have to talk about? We kind of got through the WarGames stuff from SmackDown. That was the A story. I mean, SmackDown, other than that, was fine. KO on commentary was the B story, and that was fantastic. Giving that man the telestrator was probably the smartest thing. I was going to say, when we talked about Stevie and his videos, I was going to say Stevie is the best guy to give a telestrator to. And then we saw what KO did on Friday. And I'm like, nope, never mind. It's Kevin Owens. Give him a telestrator in his home as he requested. He had a good showing. He was fun on SmackDown. What'd you think?
He was hilarious. I mean, the A story is Santos turning on, or not the A story, but the B story is Santos turning on Ray. That was a big deal. Santos doing the turn. So Carlito comes out and is like, yeah, you should be blaming Santos for your loss because he left the brass knuckles there. Santos was unhappy about this. Then Lashley beat Carlito, and then they're beating down Carlito, and Santos is just standing there. And Ray comes out, makes the save. Santos hits Ray. And Ray, oh man, Ray with the pop, pop, pop. Oh, what a combo. Santos was floored on that. He smacked the shit out of him. I popped so much. I was like, damn, Ray was holding that one in. He got his ass with the 1-2 right there. And then Santos just kicked the shit out of Ray, unfortunately. That was a good, you've been calling for the Escobar heel turn, and then you wanted it to make no sense afterwards, and then Escobar just do nothing after he turns heel, but he turned. We're going to get the Ray match at some point. I think this should be the Mania match, honestly. I think Santos and Ray should be the Mania match.
I think it's more likely to be a Rumble match or a Christmas SmackDown match. I don't think it's going to be as big as it could be. this is again, this is what I wanted, and I'm not alone in that. A lot of people were waiting for Santos Escobar to turn because his NXT character and Legado del Fantasma was so much more than what they were getting out of the LWO. But partnering him with Ray upped his stock, put him on TV weekly. It did a lot for the main roster viewing audience of WWE. So for that, like, I can't be upset about that. I think it did good things for Santos. And then he also worked his ass off, not only on himself physically, but also he put himself out there for press junkets and other interview opportunities. He's proven himself, and I think that Rey Mysterio sees something in Santos Escobar that he could continue to move forward once Rey starts to actually wind down, which Ray's been talking about doing for about 13 years now. So I don't know where that comes from.
I think it will be sooner than Mania. I don't think they're going to hold off on this on Mania, but I do think like you can hold off on this until Mania and make a big deal out of this match at WrestleMania. I think it'd be good for Santos if they did that. You know, I don't know where they go with Santos as a heel, as far as do they give him Cruz and Joaquin Wilde back, or are they just still part of the LWO? Do they have other people around them? As it feels like Santos needs like henchmen. That's what it feels like for him. Like I think he's fine on his own. Like he's, like you said, he's really improved with his presence and his persona. But I think he's also like him as like an evil, almost like Roosh. But you don't want to completely take from that. Not that like Roosh is reinventing the wheel with anything, but people are going to make the comparisons almost like I just did. Like I think he's better if he is like a kind of like the evil boss and he has like his henchmen around him. And I don't know who you put in there unless it is Joaquin and Cruz. They're just kind of bit players right now, and they don't really do a whole lot. So them going back with Santos on the position of like, Ray, you didn't really do a whole lot with us. Like, at least with Santos, we felt valued. You just came in and handed us the t-shirt, and then you brought in Carlito. So you'll see.
Well, Carly and Ray have to beat somebody en route to facing Santos one-on-one. So.
Yeah.
It's kind of the reality. Will Chisholm said to Super Chat saying Sting and Ray Jr. Are the rare two baby faces who get turned on the most. It's true.
It's the mask for Ray and the face paint for Sting. People don't know their true values. The masks keep changing every single week, every single month. Sting, all the face paint changes he's done over the years, people don't know who they're real about. And also Ray, terrible father. So like they don't want to be associated with that either.
So really, who are the baby faces and who are the heels here?
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. Santos Escobar loves his kid. Loves his kid. Shows off the love every day on the internet. So just saying, Santos Escobar is actually the baby face in this whole thing. But now again, this is where I come up with, Zelina is now a woman without an island. She's got nowhere to be. I assume she's going to align with Ray, but also heel Zelina turning on Ray as well. That wouldn't be awful. But then there are a lot of heels already on the SmackDown Women's division. They're all in a group together. So I don't know if you really want to go that far to put Zelina just, in Legado del Fantasma. And people are saying, Elektra Lopez and Lola Vice. I really think that they are destined to keep doing their thing, not only in NXT, but if and when they do go main roster. Lola Vice is a star that will probably stand out on her own and maybe like interact with Santos and his group, whoever they are, but not be directly associated with them. Like Elektra can be like, we came up together, but we didn't come up together. So that would be an interesting wrinkle, but it wouldn't be like they wouldn't be in the group.
I would I don't mind Zelina turning. Like I know Damage CTRL is there, and so it's not going to be, she's not going to be the top heel or anything. I'm thinking back to the Zelina and Andrade pairing and how well that worked, and I think you can do something similar with Zelina and Santos with that pairing. And then maybe you don't need henchmen because Zelina can just sort of get involved as sort of like the big boss energy Zelina. Like something like that. might be able to work. I'm interested in where they go with Santos because it feels like he needs to beat Ray, but I don't think he actually will beat Ray. And then if he doesn't, where does he go for that? I just don't want him lost in the shuffle. That's it. I think he's super talented. He's got the charisma, the look, the talent, and I don't need him lost in the shuffle and all of this. And I'm a little bit worried once the Ray stuff wrapped up that he does get lost in the shuffle.
The trajectory to me feels like LA Knight beats Logan Paul at Mania, and we just have to figure out what to do with Santos until then, because LA Knight and Santos Escobar is that's a US championship match that you can run through the spring and the summer, somewhere in there, and start.
That's where Santos needs to face Ray at Mania and beat him.
Yeah, but I'm still holding out for Ray versus Dominic in a mask versus hair match.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are, and that makes sense.
Yeah, and like I personally I've been calling for that since the last WrestleMania match. I was like, when they do this, and originally I said like if they do a PLE in Mexico, that's the headline. But clearly that's not what they're doing, because I don't think they have the site fees for that in Mexico yet. But instead, do it at WrestleMania. Next best thing. Philadelphia gets to finish that story.
And Ray has mentioned that as well. There's still the talk of Ray and Bad Bunny against Dominic and Logan Paul. Logan Paul with the US title at the UFC show, misspelling Dominic's name on the shout out and everything. So like, I don't know if that's fully out of the question either. Oh, we will see. I'm with Cyclops better than Wolverine, by the way. Only one man can fix the LWO. It's the proud Latino, the Cuban nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Man, that's right. That's right. Cyclops better than Wolverine.
That's right. NY Soulable had that quick aside. Eddie Guerrero, 18 years ago, passed away. So we send the love to Eddie and the family. So that's that is part of the larger story. Growing out that mullet, Dominic Mysterio is after his daddy Eddie. Wilchism sent a super chat saying, how long will it take for them to turn Bayley babyface after Damage Control jumps her out? We talked a little bit about this. What if they don't turn Bayley? What if Bayley gets an up on Io, and Io is the one turning babyface out of all of this? Suddenly they only put the Joshis together. Suddenly that crowd gets very quiet.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that idea of like babyface Io Sky, because especially after the reaction she got when she faced Bianca for the title earlier this year. I'm not mad at that idea. I did love Bayley in the segment. One, I love that they again brought back around that the last time we saw Kyrie was her getting beat up by Bayley. They mentioned, Michael Cole mentioned that on commentary at Crown Jewel. It was good that they refocused that. I like Kyrie being like, I forgive you. I love the hug, and Bayley's like, I don't do that anymore. And then they still just hugged her anyway. And yeah, her being confused when Asuka turned, and then the big hug at the end. It does seem like it's setting up to everyone turns on Bayley. I'm not mad if they swerve and everyone kind of turns on Io. Bayley sort of manipulates her way to where you turn on Io. I'm not saying Bayley's bad as a babyface now. She should have been one of the top babyface stars in history, and then they just had no idea what to do with that character on the main roster. Credit to her to being like one of the best heels and doing what she's done with this. Like, she's so good as a heel that I don't know if you want to just go back. I don't think she can go back to like hugger Bayley. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But what if she gets turned on, and then she doesn't have anybody. Damage Control jumps her out.
I know what you're doing.
And she needs a friend.
Yep.
Done. Done. Money. Done. Money. She's got her friend back. And here comes old Mercedes to be friends with Bayley to take on the new Damage Control.
Now, okay, do you think, I know you're doing this for the bit because of the song, do you think there's a chance that she would come back as the rebranded version of herself, or would we see the return of Sasha Banks?
It feels like she's probably Sasha. You can still do the music, right? Dun. Banks. Dun.
I was going Sasha because it's two.
No,
Sasha,
Banks. No, Banks, baby.
jazz hands.
I just like the music. I don't give it. Although the Sasha Banks theme kind of rolled as well, so like I'm not mad at that. But man, this Mercedes Moné theme really rules. I don't know if she's actually returning. I'm sure everybody saw the cameo video of like I'll be back 2024 with some company. If she's not coming back till 2024, then it's out for a little while.
Yeah, Royal Rumble bound. That's
great.
right.
You never know.
I'm gonna
Never
get
know.
photos of her at an airport, and I'm gonna start telling everyone my friend at this airport saw her, and we're just gonna let the speculation run rampant. If there's one thing that I love, it's rampant speculation over Mercedes, because people go buck wild over that shit.
Yeah, they do.
It's
I mean,
weird.
Will Chisholm says, the way it's looking, Sasha might come back since TKO is trying to get Vince out of here. I mean, that's 100% true. The second part of that. But yeah, as far as Sasha come back, I don't know. Like, we'll go into the whole thing again of like, what does she want to do? She clearly wanted to do like a New Japan Stardom run, because she probably had an opportunity to return last year when everybody else was returning and Triple H became lead creative. I'm sure there was talks in that. Triple H said as much when Ariel, asked him about it during like one of the weekends, Survivor Series weekend, maybe one of the weekends. Ariel asked about Sasha Mercedes, and he's just like, it's whatever she wants to do, and that's still going to be the case. Is what does she want to do? Does she still want to go out and have these Stardom matches, have the New Japan stuff? Because she left a lot on the table there. It's not her own fault. She got injured, but she left a lot on the table with that. Or does she look at it and like, hey, they're offering me big money. Go back. Things seem to be improved on that side of things. My friends are still there. Kyrie is back. Bailey's obviously still there. Like, money's kind of good to pass up. I don't know. Like, the platform's too good to pass up. The injury history is what it is. We can't just ignore that. Like, her injury history is what it is. She might just be like, hey, I'm going to take this money. I'm going to be with some of my friends, and I'm going to cash in while I can.
We love Sasha Banks. We think she's great. We wish her all the best in her future endeavors. And if she ever wants to come back, then I guess we'll have her back. But until then, she's just going to go and she's going to do her, and that's okay. We love to have her back, though, because she's great talent, and we love her. And remember that NXT WarGames match that we did? Yeah, it was great. Remember that Iron Woman match we did? Yeah, she was in that. She was great. So we'd love to have Sasha Banks back. But, till then, she's just going to find herself and then come back one day.
And Survivor Series is going to be wild when Sasha Banks and CM Punk return. It's going to be a crazy night.
Great. Yeah, but they're going to be called the Punk Bank. They're going to come out together.
Ooh.
Yeah,
CM Punk was he was, sticking up for her. Like, this is why they walked out. Stick up for your coworkers. And then Hangman Page made that comment and burned everything. Damn that Hangman Page.
Damn that Hangman Page. Workers' rights just ruin everything. Nobody could ever be a union in wrestling because every wrestler is too selfish, CM Punk.
So what we are saying, we're not actually saying this, but it's Sasha and Naomi's fault that CM Punk is no longer in AEW, because if they don't walk out, he does not make the comment about workers' rights. Hangman Page does not bring it up on television, and the whole storm does not start. So it is Sasha and Naomi's fault that CM Punk is not in AEW, everybody.
Yeah, but like Trinity's running Impact is ruled, so I can't be angry about that.
Great. She's been really good.
Sasha
was doing, Mercedes was doing great stuff before she got hurt. It's a real shame she got hurt.
Yeah. No, and again, it's both women. The reason I bring up Trinity more and more, not only because I cover her for Impact, but also like coming out of this whole situation where they walked out, was all eyes were on Mercedes, and everyone wanted to know where Mercedes was going. Nobody, I wouldn't say nobody cared, but like Trinity was the second fiddle in here, and everyone was sitting there being like, oh, she's just a follower. She's didn't, she should have stuck around and know her place. And it was like, no, she very clearly had feelings that also reflected, that of her friends, and she left, and she bet on herself. She went to Impact, And I think that's been a mutually beneficial relationship in a lot of different ways. And it's worked and it's good. So does that mean Trinity could come back? Absolutely, to WWE specifically. Yeah, of course. But right now, I think she's having the time of her life working in Impact. And Scott D'Amore said it a million times that it's been mutually beneficial and a good fit. So can't really get angry at that. I think it's been good.
Yeah, I think so too. And she's clearly, we thought it might be a run. Oh, she'll just be there for till Bound for Glory. No, she's past there. She's gonna be there at least until Hard to Kill. We'll see if it's even further past that. So good on her. I don't know what Trinity. Again, we don't know what these people want. We can surmise where we want them to go, where we think they'd be the best fit, what we would like as fans. At the end of the day, we don't know what the hell these people want. We're not them. We have no idea. We have no idea.
Money.
Bum, bum,
There
bum.
it is. Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. Money. That song. I need it back. I need it. That's it. It's all I want in my life.
Why Soul was asking when you're going to release your wrestling themed cover album.
I should do one, right? Like, remember, didn't we do that on Fightful? Didn't we do like a wrestling
there's
theme?
a supercut. Yeah, there's a supercut somewhere of like people singing wrestling songs or just singing songs.
Me and Pulowski are on that. We did Judas together. That was like that was like 1,000 select subscribers. We did that.
No, when you did Judas, yes. Okay,
yeah. That's how long ago it was. We did a Judas karaoke Pulowski. That wasn't together though. We had to like send in our own thing, and then it was like cut together. So yeah, that was the whole thing. I love singing on this show. I know Joel can't stand it because he has no taste. But
anyway, Will Chisholm sends a super chat saying Triple H not slick. He's trying to get the women from Stardom who Mercedes wants to wrestle. Hey man, it's possible. The only one he's not going to get is Mariah May. But other than that, there are plenty of women from that from Stardom that Triple H seems to be targeting. Hey, if he lands Julia next year, that's a pretty big get for that women's division. But we'll see. Lots of time until then. Lots of time.
There's a lot of time. He's gonna get everybody. Bless him. I respect it so much that Triple H is just like, yeah, we're gonna sign all this talent. You want to wrestle them? Come over here. Get over here.
Jeff Valley Driver earlier had mentioned, remember when Impact was on Twitch? Jeff, let me tell you a story. We used to do a watch along on Twitch when Impact was live. It was myself and Steven Jensen. And we could co-stream it because Impact was like, yeah, go ahead. Here's the link. Do it up. They just wanted people getting the eyes on the product. And then, and we had a great time because we brought different guests in. We watched the show. Sometimes we like talked over everything, but we had a rule that you would only, the volume you had to shut up during the Steiner Math promo because they always play the Steiner Math promo. And there was like one other promo where we'd have to do it. But it was a great stream. And then one day, one random July morning, I get a message. Impact Wrestling is moving to YouTube exclusively.
No,
we will no longer be on Twitch. And it wasn't even this week is our last week. It was this past Thursday's episode of Impact was our last on Twitch. And I turned to Jensen and I'm like, so we're done. And now we have nothing to do. And then we started playing Mario Kart every week on Twitch. It was great. God, I miss those days.
Yeah, those cowards, they took it out. It's a shame.
It's probably the smartest thing they've ever done as a business, as Impact, to be honest, because now they had tangible like numbers that they could work with and tell you how many people were actually watching their shows. It's true.
Yeah.
And also like
RVD got him kicked off Twitch. All right, that was fantastic.
That was a wild show. Oh my God. God bless Rob Van Dam, dude.
And I miss Katie Forbes on my television. That's AEW's true cowards for not bringing Katie Forbes back with RVD. Great, you got RVD. Everyone's happy. Give me the Katie Forbes just twerking while RVD's kicking ass.
Impact was on Twitch when Kenny did that. It was 2021, and I remember covering it with Jeremy on the website, sending like viewership updates because it was you got the live tracker. And just like watching it go up and up and up and down and down and up, depending on whatever segment they were running. That was a big show for them. And they showed out because it was like over 60,000 people watching on Twitch alone, which is a pretty big deal for them when they were averaging like 2,500.
Yeah. I think I did you did the numbers and stuff because you sent them to me and I did the big article of like, here's how the numbers increase with Omega on their Twitch and everything. Yeah, they did monster numbers like that first Twitch show. When Omega was on.
Yeah, that was a time, man. That was a trip. But then everything changed, and now they're on YouTube. And again, it's good. The Ultimate Insiders package is a much better deal in my opinion. Getting the TV, getting a commercial free live first air, and getting the specials. I'll take that for $5 a month. That's worth it to me. Anyway, is there anything else we got to cover on today? I think we got the main
Raw preview. That's what everybody wants, Joel.
Holy crap! I didn't even put it in my own notes. Let's go WWE.com/Monday Night Raw. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso take on the Judgment Day for the tag team. So
Run it back, baby.
Running it back. Oh God. All right, sure. Cody and Jay. Do we do the yeet? Are we gonna get it back? We do a pro-show press conference afterwards? Couple drinks on the bus?
Nah, I think Judgment Day win, or it turns into a big schmoz. What if it turns into the big schmoz and this is where Drew reveals himself, or this is where old Randall reveals himself? I think it feels like they got to do something here, because they can't just do Cody and Jay lose again or win again without some type of hook for this match when we've already done this match twice before.
They are in Washington, D.C. tonight for Monday Night Raw. How close is that to where Randall is?
I don't know where Randall is.
I don't know. He's got the bus. He can be anywhere. He's got the
exactly.
bus. Yeah, that's true.
So why does it matter where they're in?
The Randy Express. That's a whole lot of wrong.
I think we're getting the Drew stuff tonight. Next week is the go home for Survivor Series, and I think next week we get Randy coming in. That's my guess. That's my temperature.
Yeah, someone in the chat's asking, by the way, about the Impact stuff. It's $5 a month on YouTube. The only ones you don't get are Hard to Kill, Bound for Glory, Slammiversary, and what's the fourth? Slammiversary, Bound for Glory, Hard to Kill, and Rebellion. Those are the ones that are on Fight TV, but everything else is on their Ultimate.
Hell yeah, this is what we need right
there.
Yeah,
no, that's it. That's why I'm thinking about Washington. You bring up
I walk for miles inside this pit of danger. Boom! The GOAT Batista, baby! Big Dick Batista. Legit Big Dick Batista.
Legit? You've seen it?
The stories I could tell about Batista's dick, Joel.
The stories you've heard from others telling stories about Batista's appendage. Yes. Anyway, Tommaso Ciampa throws down with Ludwig Kaiser. But first, actually, let's get back to this for a sec. Yes, it does feel like this could be the fifth man, brother. And since Drew kind of walked out on Raw last week, this could be the week where you do it. And then next week, with their backs up against the wall, who's going to join the babyface team? That's when you bring out Randall. And where are they next week? Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's where Randy should go. Grand Rapids.
St. Louis is Randy's town, right? So, sure.
Why
Close
are there?
Enough.
Oh, Superstar Brunch. I was very confused. WWE had something that was like Survivor Series, Session 1, Session 2. And it was they're doing a brunch. They're bringing back bagels and what was it called? Bagels and
body slams or something.
Body slams, yeah. Yeah, and bacon.
Bagels, bacon, and body slams.
God damn. Sounds like a good time. Tommaso Ciampa and Ludwig Kaiser sounds like a good match to watch on Monday Night Raw. Kaiser gets the win.
Sure.
Yeah, Kaiser wins. Otis versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That rules. Nakamura is going to do that caught in the ropes spider suplex. Not from the second rope, but you know how he does the slide through German? He's going to do that on Otis, and it's going to be all kinds of awesome.
I'm honestly looking forward to that. That's one of those matches that you don't think about until you see it. It's like, that's interesting. That's fun. Oh, I'm looking forward to that match.
Yeah, I'm all for it. It'll be fun. Indy Hartwell takes on Xia Li. I think Xia Li is working towards an NXT Women's Championship match against Lyra Valkyria, as they showed on Tuesday. And The Miz versus Ivar is another one that happens because Ricochet banged his head.
This is right up your alley, Joel. G1 Miz. You should be pumped for this. Pump your fist, baby.
The G1 Miz is coming back, baby. The M1. Yeah. The M1.
Get excited, Joel.
I'm excited. Does the Miz win this one? Or does Ivar crush it?
It depends if they want to go into do they stick with the singles match between Gunther and Miz, which they booked last week, but according to reports, the plan was for it to be a triple threat match, or it was supposed to be maybe they do the double finish and then they do a singles match against each other to see who gets the title shot. So if Miz wins, then yeah, they're sticking with the singles match. If Ivar wins, they'll probably make that a triple threat match.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I don't mind it. I like it. And then Tegan Nox takes on Piper Niven. Oh dear, are we setting up a tag title match? Nox and Natty versus Niven. And
why? Charlotte is the tag team champions. I don't know why we're pretending otherwise here.
That's right. Anyway, that in mind. And then Natty turns on Nox, and that's how we start the Nox versus Natty feud. That goes ultimately nowhere. Or Natty wins as the new heel that challenges the Raw Women's Champion after WrestleMania.
Rhea again.
Rhea again, who is now double turned.
I haven't seen Natalya and Rhea enough.
Well, I mean, listen, the last time they did a great job. They left jewels all over the mat.
Yeah, that was a good match, and then Natalya was off TV for like 2 months after it.
So it was Rhea for that matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. But I do feel like the Tegan Nox Natty thing ends with somebody turning on them. Maybe it's Tegan Nox turning on Natty, being like, bitch, I know more than you. And that's it. Who knows? It's time for Tegan Nox to get a character that's not, I am the shiniest wizard.
She should do magic. She's a shiny wizard. She should do some magic.
I'm going to pull a rabbit out of my broken ACL joint.
Everything's shiny. She wears like very shiny gear and stuff. Very like shiny wizard gear. She's like Oz, but shiny. That gimmick worked for him.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that guy? Did he ever do anything?
It came on. He went on to become the greatest professional wrestler of all time is what happened to him.
See, Oz is great and powerful. And we're
exactly. People act like that gimmick sucked, but look what it created. It created legitimately the smartest and greatest professional wrestler of all time.
That's true.
Name me someone who made more money and continues to live off pro wrestling for doing less work than Kevin Nash. There ain't many.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. How's Six doing?
Hogan, but Hogan at least made the towns in Japan, traveled all over, wrestled for a lot longer.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hogan also kept going well into the 2010s. So like, man, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know about anyone else. I'm sure chat. You know what? Drop comment. Who is it? I don't know. You let us know in the comments.
Nash just showed. No, Flair worked all the towns,
and also Flair gave all of his money to his ex-wives and sexual assault demon. Anyway, Jeremy, let's get out of here. Dude, plug the stuff, plug Tag Talk. Let's go.
Jeff Jarrett is a good one, but he keeps working though.
Jeff keeps working. We're talking about people who were in it long enough and pulled out to keep their quality of life and have all the money. Brock keeps going. Brock made a lot of money, but Brock kept going. We're talking like did their 15 years or 10 years, got out of the business with all their money, and they're doing well. You never have to worry about them again. Started a podcast just because. So those are the people we're trying to get to.
Yeah. It's not there.
No. Plug the stuff. Let's go.
1 second.
Oh, now we get the news is out.
Okay. What news?
I don't know. You were typing, so I assumed it was news.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's no news. I was just doing stuff. Okay. So anyway. All right. And now Jerry Lynn, nope. Like Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville was that's a good shot, but he's still working. He's just not working in wrestling.
Right. RVD's still working. Snoop Dogg is the true answer. No.
Snoop, yeah.
See, Nash got out. Nash got out, makes his money off the podcast. You ain't topping Kevin Nash. Sorry, guys. You ain't topping Kevin Nash. All right, everybody.
You can try.
Watch Tag Talk. It's the final episode for now. I refuse to say it's the final episode, but the final episode at 3:00. So watch Tag Talk today at 3 with Haley and Kylie and Joel. I have a question for you before we end this stream and you do all these plugs. Okay.
Okay.
Very important question. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Who the fuck you think you fucking with? The fucking boss. 745 white on white. That's fucking Ross. Cut him wide, cut him long, cut him fat. What? I keep him coming back. What? We keep him coming back. I'm in the distribution. I'm like Atlantic. I got them motherfuckers flying across the Atlantic. I know Pablo Noriega, the real Noriega. He owe me 100 favors. Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling. Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling. Come on, Joel. Huh?
The PWHL just announced where they're
You're no
Women's
fun,
Team Toronto's
Joel.
gonna be
No
performing.
fun. No fun.
looking forward to that.
Rick Ross, the
Uh-huh.
fucking boss.
Yeah. He's great.
You know Jose Canseco only snitching because he fiendish?
Yeah. So you good? You did the things?
Go ahead, plug stuff.
Listen, maybe if you stop blowing so much water, we would not be in this position. We're back Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll have a guest, hopefully, as long as they pick up the phone. Until then, I am Joel Pearl. JWLPARL, ladies and gentlemen, friends, be on the binary. Thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. You know what to do. And we'll see you in the next one. Watch Tag Talk today, or you are not it. Go be it.